The month of Muharram is the first month of the Islamic calendar. An important and tragic event took place on the 10th of Muharram that shook the Muslim world. It was the murder of Imam Hussein, his family members and his close friends by the army of Yazid. Hussein was one of the two grandsons of the Holy Prophet Muhammad and the younger of the two sons of Hazrat Fatima, the daughter of the Holy Prophet. There were many companions of Imam Hussein that sacrificed their lives on the day of Ashura. Many of them are not usually mentioned by their names in speeches. Many of them are not usually mentioned, although their sacrifices were no less important. The purpose of this presentation is to pay tribute and mention them by their names. It is also important to note that traditionally the number of martyrs in Karbala is stated to be 72. However, according to several accounts, there were more than 100 martyrs. Start of the Battle of Karbala. Umar ibn Sa'ad started the battle by first shooting an arrow towards the supporters of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Thereafter, his soldiers showered them with hundreds of arrows. This resulted in the death of many companions.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Yesterday we talked about one of Imam Hussein's childhood friends, Habib. Today we're going to talk about Hurr. Now a long time ago, during the time of Prophet Muhammad, there lived a man called Abu Basir. When he heard about Islam and Prophet Muhammad, he decided to go to Mecca to learn more about Islam and to become a Muslim. But on the way he met some old friends who asked him, "Oh Abu Basir, where are you going?" He said, "I am going to Mecca. I've heard about Islam. I'm going to become a Muslim and I'm really excited." His friend said to him, "Oh dear, are you sure? Do you know that when you're a Muslim, there are things that you can't do? Things like drinking alcohol." And this made Abu Basir think. He thought twice about becoming a Muslim because he really enjoyed drinking alcohol. So he thought for a minute and then he said, "Actually, you're right. I still want to drink alcohol. So maybe I'll wait. I'll go to Mecca next year." And then he went back home. So he did get home, but later that year Abu Basir died. And so it was too late. He never got the chance to go to Mecca and to become a Muslim. If only he had used the chance when he had it. Now on the 1st of Muharram, Imam Hussein was trying to lead his caravan into Kufa where they would be safe. But Ubaydullah sent an army of 1,000 soldiers to stop him and only let him into Kufa if he agreed to go as prisoners. The soldiers were being led by an army officer called Hurr Riahi. When Hurr's army met the caravan of Hussein, the men and the horses in his army were very thirsty because they had travelled through the mountains and the desert to reach Imam Hussein. So they used up all their water already. Hurr went to meet Imam Hussein, and Imam saw that Hurr and his army were very thirsty. So he told his group to give water to the soldiers and to the horses. Hurr then told Imam that he could not let him go to Kufa. Imam was made to take a different route that eventually led to Karbala. When Hurr cut off Imam Hussein's route, forcing him to go to Karbala, he thought that there would not be a battle anymore and everything would be okay, because they would come to some kind of peaceful solution. Now on the night of Ashura, Hurr could hear the children in Imam Hussein's camp crying of thirst. He never thought that this would happen. He started walking up and down the floor of his tent because he was so sad when he heard the children's cries. He did not feel that it was right to stop them drinking for 3 days. Hurr was a brave man and everyone respected him. So when one of his soldiers saw him walking up and down so nervously, he said, "Hurr, I know most of the other soldiers are frightened to fight the brave grandson of our holy prophet, but I did not think that you would be scared." Hurr said, "I'm not scared of fighting on the battlefield. I am scared of Allah. What answer will I give to Allah when Allah asks me, how could I fight against the grandson of the holy prophet when he was thirsty?" So early in the morning of on the day of Ashura, the horses were having trouble putting their hooves on the ground because the sand was so burning hot. So the enemy soldiers were cooling down the hooves by pouring water on them. When Hurr saw this, he thought of the children in the camp of Imam Hussein crying out, "Al-Atash, oh the thirst." Hurr knew that right then he could make a choice between whether he wanted to go to Jannah or Jahannam. And he knew that he had one chance to make the right choice, to go to Jannah. His son and his slave also wanted to go with him, so they got on their horses and they rode towards the camp of Imam Hussein. But just before they got to the camp, they got off their horse. Hurr was really embarrassed to face Imam Hussein because he was the one who had forced him to take a different route to Karbala. So he got his son to tie his hands behind his back and he walked very slowly to Imam Hussein's tent. Imam saw Hurr coming towards the tent and he told Abbas, "Our guest has come," and he asked him to go and meet him. When Hurr saw Imam Hussein, he fell down on his knees begging for forgiveness and asked if he could please be the first to go into the battlefield to fight. And Imam said, "Hurr, I have already forgiven you. Your mother named you Hurr. That means free. You are free in this world and in the hereafter. I consider you to be my most honored guest. I am just so sorry that I have no food or water to give you as my guest." When the battle began, Hurr went to the battlefield with his son and his slave. But first he spoke to the enemy soldiers and he tried to make them understand that they were wrong to be fighting the grandson of the Holy Prophet. But the enemy soldiers did not want to listen to him. One officer, Shimr, realized that if Hurr carried on talking like that, then some of the soldiers might go and also join him in Imam Hussein's camp. So he told Umar Sa'ad to send the soldiers to attack them all together, rather than one by one, which was one of the rules of fighting in Arab countries. His son was killed first, and then his slave. Hurr fought bravely, killing the enemy soldiers dozens at a time. Eventually he was struck and he had a deep cut on his forehead which made him fall off his horse. He called out to Imam, who went rushing towards him with Abbas. Imam cleaned the blood off his forehead and tied a handkerchief round his head to stop the bleeding. This handkerchief was made by Sayyidah Fatima Zahra. Hurr opened his eyes for the last time and he saw Imam Hussein. Many years later, a ruler who wanted to see a great brave soldier dug open the grave of Hurr. And do you know what? He smelt a beautiful smell coming out of the grave, and he saw Hurr lying on the grave as though he was just sleeping. He saw the handkerchief tied around Hurr's head and opened it. Fresh blood started to flow, so Shah Abbas tied it up with his own handkerchief. But a voice came out and told him, "Please, give back my handkerchief. It is the handkerchief made by Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, and tied by the hands of Imam Hussein. So he returned the handkerchief and he closed the grave. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Assalamu ala al-Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein wa ala awlad al-Hussein wa ala ashab al-Hussein.
Now it's time to listen to poetry by Sister Malek Mehdi.
Tell me, what crime an infant can commit? What bad thing can one not forgive? The answer is none, but that didn't halt them killing Ali al-Asghar, whom heaven exalt. His life was too short to have a story behind, but as for his death, the killer woe betide. The high Imam Hussein saw his camp so thirsty, after Shimmer blocked water to his men of 40. He thought they'd see that this was unfair. He left with his baby and held him in the air. Facing them he spoke, to look at his son, who was crying from thirst. He wasn't the only one. Whispers were barely heard, then a man stepped forth. His features were twisted, and so were his thoughts. He loaded his bow, an arrow went flying. It struck the infant's throat, and silenced his crying. When Hussein saw this, he flung blood up above, but it didn't fall down, it flew like a dove.
This recitation shows Bibi Zainab alayhi salam talking to her brother Imam Hussein alayhi salam about all the sufferings they went through. Oh my brother, your sister is poor. Oh my brother, there seems no cure. Oh my brother, your sister is poor. Oh my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times you played with Sakina, gave her those earrings back.
No, put the short. Take this straight a little bit.
And we
Five,
decided not to stop it before Sakina,
Yeah.
remember?
5,
Okay,
4,
join.
3, 2, 1, cue.
Remember the times you played with Sakina, gave her those earrings back in Medina. Remember the times you played with Sakina, gave her those earrings back in Medina. They ripped them off her is our soul. Oh my brother, your sister is poor. Oh my brother, your sister is poor. Oh my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the time she slept on your chest, bonded together with such high zest. Remember the time she slept on your chest, bonded together with such high zest. Crying to sleep, she just lies on the floor. Oh my brother, your sister is poor. Oh my brother, your sister is poor. Oh my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times you talked about pains. Look at your Abid all dressed in chains. Remember the times you talked about pains. Look at your Abid all dressed in chains. Those heavy shackles just tear him even more. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times back in Medina. Happily we spent with Sakina. Remember the times back in Medina. Happily we spent with Sakina. What should I do, God? She is no more. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times you used to kiss my arms, saying that they will go through many harms. Remember the times you used to kiss my arms, saying that they will go through many harms. Now is the time I just can't bear anymore. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times I used to see your face, at morning, evening, and at night's face. Remember the times I used to see your face, at morning, evening, and at night's face. I want to see you just like I did before. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure.
And today we will talk about two very special boys in Karbala called Aoun and Muhammad. One day, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein asked their mother, Bibi Fatima, "Oh mother, who do you love the most?" Bibi Fatima looked at her sons and smiled. Her heart was filled with love for both of them. They were the light of her eyes. She said, "Take this tasbih and break it. The one who picks up the most beads is the one that I love the most." So they broke the tasbih and began collecting the beads. Eventually they stopped and saw that they both had the same number of beads in their hands.
His poor quality shoes were his reason of doom. They came undone, having ran out of room. The boy bent over, intending to fix it, a sword glinting on the back he was hit. "Oh, young Qasim, little did you know that your life would end with one single blow."
मैं